At what rate daw? So that is dy over dt. Okay? Now, how can we isolate our y from here? We've already got the equation, but how can we isolate? How can we make this equation linear?
Cross multiply po, ma'am.
Cross multiply, yes. Pwede. 20 times y minus x. Ang isa is 5 times y. Correct?
Yes po.
And then let's just distribute this. 20y minus 20x is equivalent to 5y. And then combine like terms. 20y minus 5y is equivalent to 20x. Gibalhin lang na ko ni para ma-positive. Si 5y gibalhin sa pikas para ma-combine kay 20. Tama? Following everyone? So
Yes.
20y minus 5y is 15y. That is equivalent to 20x. And the x is what? Said to be 4 feet. Dili siya, this is, for example, this is the x. Pero this one is the change in the distance, right? Or change in the distance of this street light to the person kay nagalakaw man siya. Tama? Tama?
Yes po, ma'am.
So kung x ni, meaning to say this one is dx over dt. Kung x ni side, kani is nag-change man siya with respect to time. So meaning to say this is change in x with respect to time. The 4 feet per second. Understood? Now, since ang atong ginapangita is a dy over dt, kailangan nato ma-isolate si y. So we'll divide it by 15 and 15. So we have y is equivalent to 20 divided 15.
4/3 x po, ma'am.
4/3 x. Now, unsa gani ang sunod buhaton pag nakuha na nato or na-simplify na nato atong equation?
Derive po.
Derive. So, derivative of y is dy over dt. What is the derivative of 4/3 x?
4/3 dx over dt po, ma'am.
Very good. So, 4/3 dx over dt. So, 4/3, our dx over dt is 4 feet per second. So, how much is our dy over dt?
16/3 po.
Feet per second. So, mao daw ni ang rate na naga-change iyahang shadow or naga-move iyahang shadow. Any questions? Okay, hearing none. Next, this one is going back to Maxima and Minima. I think I wasn't able to give an example that has this one, inscribe. Right? So, kailangan apply yapon nato ang steps sa Maxima and Minima. And again, lahi iyahang steps with the time rates ha. So, let's try to solve this one first. Okay, so find the dimensions of the right circular cylinder of maximum volume, which can be inscribed in a sphere with the radius r. So r here is constant because that is given. So again, when we say inscribe, meaning to say right circular cylinder na masulod daw nato sa sphere. Inscribed is can be um, can be put inside the shape sphere. Okay, so let's try to draw a sphere first. Let's say we have a sphere like this. And i-inscribe daw ang right circular cylinder sa sulod sa sphere. So sagad dapat kay inscribe man siya. Okay, this is now the right circular cylinder with maximum volume. Maximum volume ang atong ginapangita for the right circular cylinder. So here, ang equation nga naga-matter now is the volume of the cylinder. Kay mao man ang atong ginapangita, maximum volume of the right circular cylinder. Can you hear me well, class?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay. So, can you, what is the volume of the cylinder? Right circular cylinder.
Pi r squared height po, ma'am.
Pi r squared height. Pi r squared height. Okay. So, it says here that it can be inscribed in a sphere with radius r. So, naandoy radius ang sphere, which is r. So, if this is our sphere, nado tayo radius r. And let's say our radius is in this side. Okay, this is our radius. So, possibly, this one equation, pwede po nato na i-change into V is equivalent to pi x squared y, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, H is represented as Y and R is represented as X. Para dili lang nato ma-incorporate si radius na given, which is R. Okay. So, from this, as you can see, kani is Y, kani is X, correct? Tama? Class?
Yes po, yes po.
And in the steps for maxima and minima, or maxima and minima na application, we have to reduce our equation into one variable first before we derive, correct?
Yes
Tama?
po.
So now, how can we reduce this one? How can we find the value for x or find the value for y? What do you think? Where can we get an equation or substitute na formula for the y or for the x?
Equation anang right triangle po, ma'am, nga nabuo po, ma'am.
Very good. So we can get it from here. So since r, or pwede na to gamitin Pythagorean theorem, tama?
Yes po, ma'am.
So from this, we can isolate, di ba, from Pythagorean theorem na r squared is equivalent to x squared plus y squared, pwede, right?
Yes.
So, we can isolate either y or either x, pero since naka-square man si x squared, i-isolate na lang natin si y. Okay? So, meaning to say, y now is said to be square root of r squared minus x squared, correct?
Yes po.
Okay, so meaning to say, pwede na nato ni i-substitute sa atoang formula. So we have v is equivalent to pi x squared. And then our y is r squared minus x squared. Okay, so this is now our formula. So as you can see, pila ka variable ang nabilin.
Dalawa po, ma'am.
Is R a variable here?
Ay, constant po pala yan, ma'am. Isa na lang, isa.
So, given daw ang radius, so in any radius R, kung in any ang pasabot, pwede na siya, this is a constant. It's just representing a letter, okay? So, meaning to say, isa na lang ka variable ang nabilin, which is x squared. And then, what are we going to do?
Derive po.
Mao ba ang sunod na step? Is that the next step? Ay, square root man din no? Sorry. Right? This is square root, right?
Yes po.
Okay. So the next step in maxima and minima after we have reduced to one variable is to derive, correct?
Yes
With
po.
respect to the variable that is given here. So time rates, i-derive na to with respect to time. Tama?
Yes po.
So here, asa na to i-derive ang V?
With respect to x po.
Hi, Ignas si Ma'am Ditoya, sir. So we have to derive with respect to x. Okay. And then next one, what is the derivative of pi x squared times square root of r squared minus x squared? What rule?
Product po.
Product rule. So we have u dv. So copy na to si u. Derive the v. So the derivative of square root of r squared minus x squared is 1/2 of r squared minus x squared raised to negative 1/2 times what? That's the derivative of the inner.
2r minus 2x po.
Hmm?
Ay, minus 2x lang po.
Minus 2x because r is again constant.
Constant po.
Okay? Everyone still following?
Yes po.
Okay. Plus the v, which is square root of r squared minus x squared, times the derivative of u, which is
2 pi,
2
2 pi x.
pi x. Okay. So let's simplify this one first. We have cancel ni. So mahimo ning pi x squared x negative x over square root of r squared minus x squared. Tama? Plus 2 pi x square root of r squared minus x squared. Or this is negative pi x cubed over square root of r squared minus x squared plus 2 pi x square root of r squared minus x squared. Correct? This is dv over dx. What's the next step?
Equate
Equate
to
into
0.
0 po.
So after we have derived, we have to equate it to 0. So meaning to say, unahon lang na to ang sulat ang positive ha. So we have 2 pi x square root of r squared minus x squared minus pi x cubed over square root of r squared minus x squared. That is equal to 0. So after that, what are we going to do? Kailangan nato makakuha og value sa x kay dimension man ang atong ginapangita. So I meant to say dimension sa right circular cylinder kani dimension ani o dimension sa iyahang height. So how can we isolate x from here?
Multiply both side by square root of r squared minus x squared po.
Multiply both sides by square root of r squared minus x squared. Tama?
Yes po. Yes po.
So, ang mabilin, 2 pi x times
R
square
squared
root of,
minus x
ay,
squared.
sorry. Wala na yung square root, right?
Yes po. Yes po, ma'am.
Okay, so we have r squared minus x squared. And then this one minus pi x cubed. Correct?
Yes po.
What's next?
Simplify po.
How can we simplify? Multiply
Yes po.
2 pi r squared x
Minus
minus
2
2
pi
pi x
x
cubed
cube.
minus pi x cubed. Pila man eh? Negative 2 pi x cubed minus pi x cubed.
Minus 3 pi po.
Minus 3 pi x cubed is equal to 0. And then, what's next?
Factor po.
What's the factor? How can we factor? Eliminate sa nato ni. Pwede nato ni equate silang duha. 2 pi r squared x is equivalent to 3 pi x cubed. Pwede?
Pwede po.
What's common between them? Na pwede nato ma-eliminate for both.
Pi and x po.
So we can divide both sides by pi and x since they are common. Pi. So mahimo ning 2r squared is equivalent to 3x squared, right?
Yes po.
Hello. And then, ang atong goal is to isolate the x, right? So we have to divide both sides by 3. So our x squared is equivalent to 2/3 r squared. Now, x ang atong kailangan, so square root, so x is equal to square root of 2/3.
Wala, ma'am.
Wala. So, can just put that as is. Square root of 2/3. Pero si square root ni r squared is just r. Correct?
Yes po.
Okay, so this is now our x. Now, dimension atong ginapangita, so we also have to find y, right?
Yes, ma'am.
How can we find y? What's the formula to use? Hmm? What's the formula for finding y?
Ang y equals square root of r squared, ma'am.
Yes, very good. So we have y is equivalent to square root of r squared minus x squared. And then what is our x squared?
Square root of 2/3 r.
Is that our x squared? X squared is
Square root of 2/3 r squared po.
na square root? Wala.
Ay, wala.
Di ba? Ako to wala nang square
2/3
both
r.
sides.
Yes po. Wala
So
po
we
mga
have r squared minus 2/3 r squared, right?
Yes po.
So r squared minus 2/3 r squared. How much is that? One minus 2/3.
1/3 po.
1/3. So this is square root of 1/3 r squared. Tama?
Yes po.
Or y is equivalent to square root of 1/3 r. Correct?
Yes po.
Okay, for this one, this is just the length of the half, right? Si y o si x, half lang ni sila ng mga length, tama? Half lang ni sa size, pero ang atong ipangita is the dimension of the right circular cylinder. So, I need to say times 2, right? To get the dimension. Tama?
Tama po.
Okay, so 2y is how much? So, pila man? How much is our, ato lang ni times 2 ang y. Pila naman?
2r square root of 1/3 po.
Ano to?
2r square root of 1/3 po.
2r square root of 1/3. Na, pila man eh? Di na ma-multiply?
2 square root of 3 over 3 po.
2 square root of 3 over 3r. Okay? That is our dimension in y. And how about this?
Two square root of 6 over 3 po.
Pila? 2.
Square root of 6 over 3 po.
Okay. So these are now our answer. Any questions? Questions, class? Okay, so tomorrow we'll still be discussing one last topic, which is the radius of curvature. In the examination, that's only one item though, but we'll still discuss that tomorrow. And then exam will be on Thursday. Okay, have you answered your sim already for time rates? Yes po. Questions, clarifications before we end the session? Okay, hearing none, so I think that's it for this afternoon. See you again tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Ma'am, nag-attendance na, ma'am.
Coverage